welcome to FOI Fest 2026.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andreas Pavlou. I'm lead at the independent reporting mechanism of the Open Government Partnership, which is an international initiative that seeks to bring government and civil society reformers together to co-create commitments that seek to advance transparency, participation and accountability in government. Since 2011, we've seen over 350 commitments made across the partnership, including, I think, in the UK as well, commitments on advancing access to information, freedom of information, either legal reforms, reforms to improve implementation, modernise systems that currently exist. And whilst that may be a nice number to throw at you all, it does actually give us a really interesting data set to look at of examples where we've seen successful reforms, the impacts that they've had, and some of the factors that have fed into those successful reforms as well. So in somewhere like Brazil, imagine they adopted their law around 2011, and since then they've been using the OGP platform to reform the implementation of their law. They've used that to implement a similar platform to What Do They Know at the local level, which has been super important to ensure that journalists and environmental activists in particular can make anonymous requests, which is a huge security issue there. They've also used the platform to ensure compliance at the local level. And whilst that might sound really good, nowadays we obviously live in a world of huge technological disruption, political disruption. Sometimes these norms and expectations feel broken or are breaking or are very strained. And so what I want to do is share with you 3 examples from across the world that are happening right now in freedom of information and which might help to inspire you all here. So the first example comes from Moldova. Bear with me. It was relevant to an extent. They've recently adopted a new reformed access to information law. Their law is also 20 plus years as old as well. And what they have done is used this new law to strengthen the sanctions and enforcement procedures that they can use, streamlined the procedures for making requests, for judicial review. They've also made sure that they've reduced access fees and other measures to improve the law and modernise the law, which not only has helped them to begin their process of adopting or process of EU accession goals, but also has been a huge political signal from them to demonstrate that they're seeing these disruptions happening around the world and that they're putting themselves forward towards being a modern democracy and all the values and human rights that go with that, including the fundamental right of access to information. In the Netherlands, they have a fairly strong FOI regime there, the WOB, as they call it. And what they have done is use OGP platform to improve implementation. So they've got a multi-year modernization strategy where they're seeking to use digital and technological advances to improve their IT systems, their archiving of information as well, digitizing all of that, and working to improve proactive disclosure of information as well, so that, again, whilst they have a strong legal regime, they're really working to make sure that technology can help them improve implementation of that law. My final example comes, however, from Australia, as we've mentioned earlier, and with some debates that might seem quite familiar to you all. The government have put forward changes to the law which would potentially restrict or make it easier to reject vexatious requests, to require ID for requesters, potentially expanding exceptions, which obviously have raised a number of concerns from civil society. And so what we're seeing from these different examples are both, in some places, modernization, strengthening of legal frameworks, in other places, pushback to some of the challenges that all of them face, whether it be, and here as well, whether it be the larger number of requests that people are receiving, whether it be challenges from technology and artificial intelligence, or whether it be resource constraints that exist as well. So what comes next? What is the challenge that we can maybe look towards fixing? And I just want to point you all towards the importance of collaboration. I guess I don't have any solutions, unfortunately, for you, but I think collaboration is really important. Internationally, it's important. In OGP, we have a proactive disclosure coalition working with a number of countries, the Netherlands, the OECD, that are also looking to implement international standards around proactive disclosure, and there are consultation opportunities later this year, which I encourage you all to take part in. But domestically, collaboration is also really important to see how we can think about how these disruptions can be utilised to actually improve implementation and potentially strengthen our legal structures for access to information. Thank you.
Hello to our most completist listeners. If you're still listening, thank you so much for sticking with this right to the end. I'm Miff from My Society, and it's my job to put these podcasts together. And you know what? It would be really helpful for us to know a bit more about how and why you are listening to them. So if you have a moment, please do take a look at the show notes, where you'll find a link to a very short survey. It'd help us so much if you could fill that in. Thank you.